What's up, everybody? This is the Angry Italian Guy coming at you again with a new topic. Today, what was really getting at me was I was reading an article on childhood vaccines and the parents who are against them and yada yada and so on and so forth, and also people who are, any type of anti-help when it comes to diseases such as diabetes, et cetera, et cetera. You've got parents who, based on personal belief exemptions, and they can fill out these forms and submit them to schools and legitimately have their children attend schools with your children based on their personal beliefs that they shouldn't have to have their children vaccinated for measles or whooping cough or polio, mumps, rubella, hepatitis B, chicken pox, diphtheria. There really is no... There's nothing that an educated person would sit down and say that this is a good idea, that we should vaccinate our children. I want someone's unvaccinated child to come to school with my child who may not have had the vaccine yet and possibly contract something from another child when we're being provided with vaccines and answers to a lot of problems that we didn't have the answers to back in the 1920s and 30s. People would die from these. People would die from polio or rubella. People would die from the chicken pox. The last thing you want is to have your children being exposed in our time where we have the means to keep our children safe from most of what children used to die from back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. It's just complete ignorance. Just complete and utter disgusting ignorance that a parent would want to expose their child and expose other people's children based on their personal beliefs that there is nothing to back. There is no scientific proof to back that not vaccinating your child is good. I wouldn't want someone else's child in my classroom if they're not vaccinated. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It shouldn't be a choice. This is the same type of parent who's probably had every type of vaccine and then throughout the years made their own beliefs on what they would have lived their life or should have lived their life previously, and they're going to live that dream or that thought vicariously through their children and not vaccinate them and put them at risk. That is complete and utter fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Or when you recently read about a pair of parents whose daughter had diabetes and it was treatable. And they said that we will pray to God because God will cure our daughter. And the daughter suffered almost 10 years. Their daughter suffered and she passed away. And these two parents were tried in court and the judge was only able to give them 10 years and he wanted to give them a lot more. Their belief is that, their faith in God would cure their daughter. Did they ever think that the doctors are actually completing God's work if that's what they believe in? If Jesus was brought down as the Son of God to be a do-gooder and to help people, well, then the doctors are actually leading by example. They've got vaccines, they've got treatments and medications that can help people live, but instead they chose to have their daughter suffer. The doctor was brought by God, if that's their belief. That doctor was there to help save their daughter, but they believe prayer would do it, solely. And there's nothing wrong with having faith. I think it's great. If you've got, a faith and you believe in God, I'm not one to knock that. A lot of people know my beliefs, and I do believe in a creator, but I believe a little differently than everybody else. But I'm not here to knock anybody. But when there are channels for you to help your children be healthy and live a happy, strong life, and you choose to turn your back to those solutions and those things that can help, you're just an ignorant son of a bitch, and you probably shouldn't have been able to procreate in the first place. It's just disgusting and it's aggravating.